Hi CC family, this is orchestra for week 23. Today we're going to be looking at the different families of instruments that you would find in an orchestra. We're also going to be looking at the seating chart of a typical orchestra in both the classical period and in the romantic period. And we're going to be learning the orchestra song. So if you have the CD, it's on there. And it might be on CC Connected, I'm not really sure. I'm also going to send you a couple of things that might help both the lyrics to the orchestra song and the seating chart that I'm going to show you. I'll put that in band or something, or Ann will, one of the two. All right, let's get started. First up is the string family. Now, as you can see, the string family has instruments that have strings. It's fairly self-explanatory. So that would include the violin, the viola, the cello, the double bass, the banjo, the guitar, even the electric guitar. Now, you can imagine back in the romantic and classical period of the arts, they did not have electric guitar. Actually, guitar and banjo weren't very popular in classical music as well. So you wouldn't see those in orchestras, but you would see the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass. Next up is the woodwind family. So we have the clarinet, the oboe, the flute, the saxophone, and the bassoon, all members of the woodwind family. Next, let's look at the brass family. The brass family includes trombone, trumpet, and French horn. Last, we have the percussion family. The percussion family has the xylophone, triangle, tambourine, maracas, chimes, snare drum, djembe, and marimba. And also that would include the timpani. It's not on this little picture, but it would include the timpani, which you would find typically in an orchestra. The classical period orchestra setup started in the front. We'll start in the front. If you see there, you see the violins to the left of the conductor. And then you see the violas right in front of the conductor. And then you see the celli, or that's plural for cello, over to the right of the conductor. Now, in the back, starting at the left, you see the timpani. That was the percussion. You see the flutes and the French horns there, and then you see the oboes and the bassoons. So right there, you have a line of flutes, oboes, and bassoons. That's your woodwinds. And then you see the trumpets behind the oboes and bassoons. And then to the far right in the back, you have the double basses. Now let's look at the romantic period. So the romantic period seating chart is similar. It just involves more instruments. And that's because during the romantic period, musical forms were greatly expanded. And so that meant more larger works of music. So the symphonies were longer. They had more instruments in them. So that required bigger orchestras. Also, interesting note, whereas a symphony maybe could be played in 20 or 30 minutes during the classical period, during the romantic period, some symphonies were like an hour and a half long. So composers during the romantic period tended to write fewer of them because they were longer. They were longer pieces of work. So you'll see here to the left of the conductor, you'll see the violins again, just like in the classical period, but you just see more of them. You'll see the violas there in front, and you'll see the celli there to the right. You just see more of them. Now, you'll notice a new introduction, a harp. The harps are over to the far right in the front. Now, if you look at the back, or actually let's look at the middle part right there where the woodwinds are, the flutes and the piccolo, the clarinets, the oboes, and the bassoon. So you see the clarinets added. Now, clarinets were sometimes in the orchestra for the classical period, but typically not. So those are the woodwinds family. And then you look in the back, you see the percussion. Whereas in the classical period, you just had the timpani, and the percussion section for the romantic period was more instruments, more different kind of percussion instruments. Then you have the French horns. Again, just like the classical period, just more of them. Now, another introduction was the tuba, which was a lower, it played in a lower range than the horns or the trumpets. So then you have the trumpets. And then another addition would be the trombones. And then again, you have the double basses over to the far right. So that is the seating chart for the Romantic period orchestra. Okay, now we're going to learn the orchestra song. Now, if there's more than one kiddo in your family, it might be fun for them to each take a particular section of the song. And if you really learn it well, you can actually do it as a round. So one person would start, and then as soon as they started the next section, the second child would start singing, and so on and so forth. It's kind of fun. Or you could just maybe have them break up into the different families of instruments and do it that way. All right, here we go.
Drums playing two tones, they're always the same tones. 5-1, 1-5, 5-5-5-5-1.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's orchestra lesson. Have fun at home listening to wonderful music, and I hope to see you all as soon as the world and health permits. Bye.